Welcome to the Social Media Better podcast, where we share social media marketing tips for e-commerce businesses so that you can reach your target customers online, increase revenue, and grow your business. I'm your host, Adela Adegusi. Hey, did you know that Pinterest drives 10 times more traffic than Facebook and Instagram combined? According to a study conducted by Shopify, they reported that Pinterest users spend an average of 29% more at checkout than non-users. Amazing! This is why I've prepared a 20-point profitable Pinterest optimization checklist for your business so that you can get more revenue from Pinterest. You can download your free checklist at socialmediabella.com/Pinterest checklist. In today's episode, I'm going to be answering a popular question that I get asked very often, which is how do I drive traffic from Pinterest to my e-commerce store? Alright, so before we get into today's episode, just a few things. Number one is that a big shout out and a big thank you to those who have been listening to my podcast in the past couple weeks. So this is episode 11. So if you've listened to any one of my previous 10 episodes, thank you so much. And the second one is that if you haven't yet, please do remember to leave me a review on iTunes and Stitcher. It helps me a lot, and it also keeps the show active and relevant as well, and it just helps me as well to know what you guys are listening to and how you are finding the episode so far. And as always, if you have any question or you just want to reach out to me, feel free to do that. You can find me on Instagram at social media Bella. All right, so let's get right into today's episode. All right, so how do you drive traffic from Pinterest to your e-commerce store? Now, remember to listen to each and every single one of the previous 10 episodes. Each episode is about anywhere between 6 minutes long to about 30 minutes long or so. I like to keep my episodes short because I just want to get straight to the point so that you guys can go and start implementing those tips that I shared in those episodes. So be sure to listen to those episodes because this episode is actually an emphasis of those episodes. Alright, so the first thing you want to do will be to set up a profitable Pinterest profile. Now, I do have a free checklist, a 20-point checklist you can download and use that to create your own Pinterest profile, or you can also reach out to me. I do offer that as a service in my agency. I help businesses to set up their social media account. So if you want to get a professional to set it up for you, feel free to reach out to me. Alright, so and the second thing will be to create Pinterest infographics for your best selling products. Now, for this Pinterest infographic or Pinterest image, you want to show your target customers how to use your products and the benefit of your products, right? So for example, let's say you are in the beauty industry and you sell face cream. For that infographic, you want to show people how to apply the cream on their face, when they should apply it, how often they should apply it, and also some before and after shots, right? And the third thing you want to do, so in this episode, I'm going to be sharing 10 ways and 10 things you can do to drive traffic to your Pinterest store. All right, so the third thing you want to do will be to create short videos, so less than a minute long, short videos about your products, right? So again, the video, so you can actually get an influencer to create it for you, or you can create it depending on your budget. And again, you want to show people how to use your products, right? How can I use it? What are the different ways they can use it? And maybe some creative ways they can use your product, right? And you also want to outline the benefits of your product. So what can the customer gain by using your products, and what sets your product apart from your competitors' products, even though you guys might be selling the exact same product, right? But you just want to, just make sure that your own business stands out on Pinterest. All right, so the first thing you want to do will be to create multiple templates of your Pinterest images, your videos, and just so you can test things out. So test what works, which template performs better, and that for those templates, you want to play around with colors, font style, images, and also your copy. So meaning the text that you put on those images, right? So just create multiple templates until you get the perfect ones. All right, the fifth thing you want to do to drive traffic to your store from Pinterest will be to include SEO keywords on your Pinterest graphics. So SEO means search engine optimization. So search engine optimized keywords on your Pinterest graphic, because what happens is that because Pinterest is a visual search engine, it scans your image and it'll show your image to a customer when they are looking for a keyword that relates to that image. And also, the keyword is what's going to grab the attention of your customer. So, if your target customer goes on Pinterest and they put in a keyword, let's say anti dandruff shampoo, they put that in into Pinterest, and then Pinterest obviously will bring up a bunch of pins, a bunch of images that relates to that keyword. Now, and so the only way Pinterest will bring up your image will be if you actually have that keyword in your image or somewhere in your description, right? And so Pinterest will bring up a bunch, and now the Pinterest user would determine which pin to click on, which one to save, and which one to eventually invest in, right? Because they will not be able to click on every single image that pops up when they put in that search term. So you want to make sure that your images on Pinterest are, number one, eye catching, because that's what's going to grab somebody's attention, and number two, click worthy, right? So why should they click on your pin over somebody else's pin, right? So make them attractive and include those SEO keywords. All right, the sixth thing you want to do will be to write keyword rich description and maybe even include a few hashtags in your description. Now, just remember though that hashtags are chronological, meaning that the hashtags that Pinterest will show when somebody go in to search for a particular hashtag will be in the past 24 hours or so, right? But at least you can still get lots of eyes on that pin, within 24 hours or more, depending on how popular that hashtag is. Right. So include again keyword, because again, when a customer clicks on your page to check it out and see what it's all about, and maybe even read your description might be what's going to get them to actually click on that pin or to save that pin or even get them to buy something from your store, right? So you want to make sure that your keyword is attractive and it has some phrases and some buzzwords your customer would use on look for online. Now, the seventh thing you want to do will be to include a call to action and also an enticing offer on your pin, right? Because that's what's going to make them to actually click on your pin. Now, for this point, you want to go back to episode number 2, where I talked about the 5 types of calls to action you can include in your Pinterest marketing. Okay, so what should be your call to action? It could be save now, and save now to read later, or click to get this offer, right? And your offer could be free shipping, buy one get one half off, 20% off the first order, a free gift, something to actually get them to click on your pin to check you out. All right, number 8 will be to include a link that goes directly to your product page, right? Because again, this episode is all about driving traffic from Pinterest to your store. The only way to drive traffic is to actually include links that somebody can actually click on. So if you're just going to be uploading images to Pinterest without including links, there's no way you can actually drive traffic. So you want to make sure that you are including links in your images and your videos as well, so that when somebody click on that link, it will take them directly to your product page. And you want to make sure though that the link will take them to the specific product page that relates to that pin, right? So again, you want to avoid sending traffic to your home page unless again the pin is just like a general pin. So let's say you are running a store promotion, a sale of some sort, then you can send them over to your home page. But if it's a product pin, um, for a product from your store, you want to send them directly to that specific product page. All right. The ninth thing you want to do will be to pin daily, right? Because it's all going to come from quantity, right? So the quality of your Pinterest marketing will come from the quantity of your Pinterest marketing. So meaning that in the first few months or so, it's just all about creating as much content as possible because remember, Pinterest is a search engine, meaning that when somebody goes on Pinterest to search for something, you want to have a bunch of pins, a bunch of pins show up, right? So at least the customer will get a variety of pins of content from you, right? So at the beginning, you're gonna have to push out as much content as you can, and then after a while, then you can reduce that number. But yeah, you want to pin daily, a few times daily if possible, right? And by the way, in the checklist, Pinterest optimization checklist, I do have a tool on there that I recommend for your Pinterest marketing, right? Because it's gonna help you to schedule your pins so that you don't have to manually pin every single day and all throughout the day. All right, the 10th and the final thing you want to do to drive traffic from Pinterest to your store, to your e-commerce store, will be to invest in some Pinterest ads. Now, the reason why I listed this last, even though most people will probably mention it first, is because you want to make sure that the first 9 points are set in place. Because the good thing about Pinterest ads is that even when you stop boosting a pin, that pin will still show up on search engines, right? It's still going to show up when somebody goes in afterwards to find a keyword that relates to that pin, right? So you want to make sure that the first 9 points are put in place and they are tight so that when you eventually go in to invest in some Pinterest ads, you can get the most out of it because there's no point paying Pinterest to promote a pin that nobody is going to click on or that doesn't have the proper keywords. It's not eye catching, it's not click worthy because you're just going to get frustrated, right? So you want to make sure that everything is set in place first before even paying to invest in some Pinterest ads, right? Unless again you're going to hire an agency like my agency to run your Pinterest ads, and then you can start running Pinterest ads from day one. But if you are completely brand new to Pinterest, I'm gonna say to first get to know the platform first. Get to know the platform first before even investing in ads, and then your ad dollar will actually go further, right? All right, so those are the 10 points that I wanted to share about how to drive traffic from Pinterest to your e-commerce store. As always, if you have any question for me, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at social media bella, and be sure to download your free Pinterest optimization checklist. You can find it on socialmediabella.com/Pinterest checklist. And if you haven't yet, please do remember to leave me a review on iTunes and or Stitcher.